In Brazil, it's not like that. It's totally natural. Interactions with women are so free flowing, and it's natural. And I'm thinking to myself, why can't it be this easy in the States?
It's us. Now, what I would say, DJP, is that the amount of, because I've been to Brazil. Brazil's my number one, actually. But the amount of beautiful women in Medellin is insane, man, compared to Brazil. It's like you said, they hit hard in Brazil. The chicks that are really, really hot are more beautiful in Brazil, but there's just so many of them in Medellin. It's crazy. I know you've been there once, I think, right?
Yeah, you're right. There are more. I agree with that totally. There's a higher concentration of attractive women in Colombia, hands down. That's without a doubt. And I've been all over Brazil, so I can say this with some authority. But I just think Brazilian women are extremely sexy, and the energy and the vibe they give off it's just one of a kind.
And the diversity too. I think there's a lot of there's way more diversity in Brazil. You can find yourself any type of girl in Brazil. So to me, that gives it the edge to me over Colombia. But of course, I'll be in Colombia soon, so I'll see it for myself. In Brazil, you can find yourself almost any type of girl, man. Like just the mixes out there is ridiculous.
It's true. I've dated white Brazilian women, Asian, indigenous, black. I mean, whatever have you. It's the diversity is it's beautiful.
Yeah, and then on top of that, DJP, and I'm sure you already stated this already, but just the energy. To me, it's the energy. Like I've met girls that were 7s in Brazil, but because of the way they acted and their energy and how bubbly and warm they were, it brought them up like 2-3 notches for me.
Oh, absolutely. And I vibe beautifully with Brazilian women. A lot of American women I just don't vibe with. Now, I never really could. I just don't vibe with. With Brazilian women, I know how to talk to them. I know how to make them laugh, make them smile. It's totally natural. But here, it's a whole lot of BS.
Yeah.
So Dennis, so let me ask you this, because Go Abroad Now and I were talking about it. Do you think that American women are not interested in dating in America?
They're interested in dating. It's just that they have their own issues and hangups. For example, we talked about this before. Brazilian women don't have the hangups about sex that a lot of American women have. You know what I'm saying? My best friend Tito, he called America a sexual concentration camp. And in some ways it's true. Because it's like when you're trying to date in America, and y'all can attest to this. When you're trying to date a girl in America, you don't want to seem too eager. She don't want to seem too eager. Everything has to be breezy. Nobody wants to show their hand. And it becomes a game of who's gonna break first a lot of the time. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
In Brazil, it's not like that. It's totally natural. Interactions with women are so free flowing, and it's natural. And I'm thinking to myself, why can't it be this easy in the States?
Yeah, I think it's a cultural thing, man. I think it's culture because I try to say it's social media, but then again, social media exists in Brazil. It exists in Colombia, it exists in Latin America. But yet I don't see these problems to the extent like it is here in America. I think it's the media kind of pushing this agenda of men versus women, like this whole gender war that we're having, where it's like, women hate men, men hate women, so nobody wants to date each other. And then women kind of have these unrealistic standards where they're trying to date like a Brad Pitt or something, like the average guy don't matter to them no more.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how old you guys are, but I remember the pre-social media days. It was actually pretty decent. It was actually pretty decent. You could actually go out in the street and actually, have a decent connection or a decent hookups with girls. But now, ever since social media, I started noticing a difference around maybe 2009, 2010. When social media started taking off, I started noticing a difference out in the field. I'm like, man, this shit is, it's not as easy as it once was.
Man, because it's so easy. Like the thing is, like social media just opened the door, like for a lot of people to date anywhere. Like literally, you can have a guy from Dubai, whatever, hit up a random chick from a small town that's attractive. Like, hey, I'm gonna fly you out. I'm gonna do this. Before it wasn't like that.
It wasn't like that. The average roundaway girl back in the day, she only had access to the, guys in her vicinity, or maybe an older guy across town. But now some rich simp halfway across the planet can fly her out somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
real. No, I 100% agree with you, man. So when I date women from Brazil, like right now, I'm talking to a girl from Florianopolis, and it's just so, it's like a breath of fresh air speaking to her, because it's like, damn, I can actually talk to her about anything. There doesn't have to be like like in America, like you have to like wait like 2 hours before you can text a girl. It's like
all that bullshit,
all that BS, right? That doesn't apply. Like sometimes I'll text a girl one thing, right? And then I'm like, oh shit, let me text her something. Like I'll double text her, right? Because I forgot to let her know something. So I'll text her something else like a second later, and she'll be texting me. Like I'll see typing on WhatsApp, like it'll show you if they're typing. She's literally typing while I'm trying to get my second message out the way, and I just texted her. So these girls are like quick, like they'll get to it, man. Like they don't care about that whole let me appear like I'm too busy,
Yeah, and if you don't do these things, if you don't communicate with her, she'll think that you don't like her.
Yeah, it's very old school, man. It's very old school. I like the way it is. Even in person, when you do talk to them in person, there's like a genuine energy there, man. I feel like these girls, they care about you. Like a lot of the Brazilian girls I met, and I think I mentioned this to you the last time we spoke, but a lot of the girls I met literally don't want to come to America. I know a lot of Americans are going to say, oh, it's because she wants the visa. But I'm like, bro, I met most of the girls, 9 out of the 10 girls I've spoken to, man, none of them want to come to America. They want to stay in Brazil.
Yeah, and I keep repeating that over and over again. People always say, "Oh, they just want your green card." No, a lot of them don't. Some of them do, but a lot of them don't. More of them don't want to come to the United States. They watch the news. They see what goes on up here. They see what goes on. Why would they want to leave their country, their language, their family, everything they know, to go be with some gringo?
And in reality, DGP, I haven't met too many Brazilians here in the States. And if they are here, I don't think they last too long, man. I think they kind of get homesick quickly.
Some of them can adjust. Some of them have a hard time adjusting to the social climate here. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's not a lot of Brazilians. I mean, I'm in Chicago. There's no Brazilian community here, like no standalone Brazilian community. I meet them every once in a while. But some of them make it, some of them don't. Some of them go back.
Yeah, facts. I mean, it's like, why would you want to leave Brazil? I mean, they have everything we have. I mean, sure, their import taxes are a little like, trying to buy a cell phone or anything down there is a pain in the ass. But otherwise than that, really, and just the phone thefts. I mean, I don't really see too many issues over there, like really. But yeah, man, that's a misconception a lot of people have, is that they think these girls are trying to come out here, but they don't. Especially in Brazil, they're trying to stay over there. And they want you to move to them because a lot of them are family oriented, and so for them to leave their family full time, that's a big task for them.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it. A lot of Brazilians want to come to America for economic reasons, for the most part. We come to Brazil mainly for social reasons. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, because it is socially superior in Brazil compared to the United States.
All the way.
All the way. So, and another argument I get real sick of hearing is that, those women, they act like, a lot of people here, they act like American women are the gold standard across the world, when that is not the case. That is not the case. They act like, you can't get a woman in the States, you can't get a woman nowhere. Well, that's not always the case. Because when it comes to complex human interaction, one size doesn't fit all.
But why do you think American women are the gold standard worldwide? Like, why do you think everyone have that perception of American women?
I think it's just American jingoism. Like, okay, we're number one in everything. And everything else outside of America is inferior in some way, shape, or form. So they feel like, okay, you're in America. The women in America, we don't need your money. We don't, even know a lot of them do. We don't need your money. We're not desperate. So, if you're able to get us, you can get, it goes along those lines. And it's just the unfortunate way of thinking. And unless you get outside this box, you're not going to know. You just don't know what you're talking about.
No, for real, man. Exactly, man. Like, ever since, like, DJP, like, I think I told you this before, too. And I told Goldbroad now this as well, and I'm sure Goldbroad can agree. Ever since I went to Brazil, like it's so difficult for me to date here in the States, bro. I've tried, you know what I mean? I've matched with certain people, I've talked to certain people here, but if the combos don't hit the same,
No.
the dates don't hit the same. It's so
No.
expensive here. It's just, yeah, go ahead, DJP.
I've been out a few times since I've been back from Brazil since the beginning of May. And I've been talking to a few chicks here in the state, and it's just not the same, man. It's just the conversations don't flow the same. The energy is not the same.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You talk to a girl, and some of them got this little snarky attitude.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a turnoff. Once you've been exposed to that stuff in Brazil or in Colombia, you can't go back to dating here in the States, man. It's hard. Unless it falls right in my lap. I'm not going, man.
Now I wanna interject and DJP. So here's what I lived 5 years in Medellin, but on my 5th year I went to Brazil. I went to São Paulo specifically, and here's what pushed me over the top. And for me, Brazil's number one, because the treatment of the females were a lot better in Brazil than Colombia. In Colombia, they can just get another, or in Medellin, they can just go ahead and get another gringo, and poof, you're gone. Mm-hmm. But in Sao Paulo, I felt, a lot of people disagree about this, and a lot of people jump on me, but I felt like Sao Paulo was like uncharted territory. I did not see a single American there. I did not see a single person speaking English there. As opposed to Medellin, there's a gringo on every corner. And so I felt that the treatment was a lot better in Brazil, and that's why it pushed me over the top. I think Brazil's number one. And then
passar na casa dele só pra dar uma relaxada. Sei que ele tá namorando, nem ligo, sou abusada. Ele gosta da sentada. Ele gosta da sentada.